Welcome all to the last session of deciduous rendition. In this session, I'll be discussing the morphology of primary mandibular molars. Generally, primary mandibular molars are 4 in number, 2 on either side of the arch, which includes first and second molars. Let's move on to the primary mandibular first molar. It is a tooth which is morphologically unique and does not resemble any other deciduous or permanent tooth. The main differentiating feature is the overdeveloped mesial marginal ridge, which somewhat resembles a cusp. Let's see the buccal aspect of primary mandibular first molar. The crown appears wider mesiodistally than cervico-occlusally, and the distal part, here this is the distal part and this is the mesial part, and this part is shorter than the mesial side. Also, this part, distal part, shows more cervical convergence compared to mesial side. Let's look into the outlines of buccal aspect. This is the mesial outline, it is straight, whereas distal outline, it is convex. You can appreciate from this picture. And the contact areas, distal contact area is at the middle third, and the mesial contact area is more cervical to the distal contact area. Occlusal outline, it is represented by the cusp and cuspal slopes. Two cusps can be seen, that is mesiobuccal and distobuccal. Mesiobuccal, this is the mesial side and this is the mesiobuccal cusp. This is larger than the distobuccal cusp. And the cervical line on the buccal surf dips apically as it joins to the cervical line on the mesial aspect. When you see this picture, you can see the dipping of cervical line on this side. When it joins the cervical line on the mesial aspect, cervical line dips apically. Also, the buccal surface, it is convex in the mesiodistal direction and it slopes towards the occlusal surface. And there is a prominent cervical ridge running in the mesiodistal direction, and this cervical ridge is more prominent in the mesial half. And prominence of this cervical ridge in the mesial half is referred as tubercle of Zuckerkantel. Also the root, two roots seen, mesial and distal. Furcation close to the cervical line and root trunk short. Mesial root is wider and longer than the distal root. This root is wider and longer than the distal root. Also the roots are slender, widely separated, and apical third spread beyond the crown outline. See, this is a crown outline and it is not well defined within the crown outline. It is extending beyond the crown outline. Both the crown and root converges lingually on the mesial side so that mesial surface can be seen from the lingual aspect. No distal convergence seen so that no distal surfaces can be seen from the lingual aspect. Two lingual cusps seen from the lingual aspect, that is mesiolingual and distolingual cusp. Mesiolingual cusp, this is a mesiolingual cusp. This is the longer and the larger one, and it is centered over the mesial root, whereas distolingual cusp is small and rounded. Also, the mesial marginal ridge is well developed. Along with the two lingual cusps, portion of the buccal cusp can be seen from the lingual aspect. Also, the cervical line is straight in this aspect. When you see the lingual surface, it is convex and the cusps are separated by the lingual groove. And both the mesial and distal roots can be seen from this aspect, and the bifurcation is more apical, making the root trunk longer. The crown shows a lingual inclination mesially, and the crown length is more on the mesio-buccal part, and the cervical portion of the crown is wider than the occlusal area, making the occlusal table narrow. Moving on to the outlines of mesial aspect, this is the buccal outline and this is the lingual outline. Buccal outline shows extreme curvature at the cervical 1/3 because of the prominent cervical ridge. Extreme curvature is seen at the cervical 1/3, and buccal outline is longer than the lingual outline. Also, this outline is flat from crest of curvature to tip of mesiobuccal cusp. From here to here, it is flat. After the maximum curvature is seen at the cervical third, and from here to here, it is flat. Also, the lingual outline, it is shorter and it extends beyond the outline of the root. This is the outline of the root, and it is extending beyond the outline of the root. This occlusal outline, as I told you before, occlusal outline is usually represented by the cusp and marginal ridges. There are two well-developed cusps, mesiobuccal and mesiolingual cusp. This buccal cusp is within the outline of the root. Lingual cusp may be within the outline of the root or beyond the margin of the root. And this mesial marginal ridge is prominent. It is concave in shape. It is longer and located more occlusally compared to distal marginal ridge. Also, the cervical line, it is curved towards the occlusal side. It is slightly curved towards the occlusal side. Also, the surface, mesial surface is relatively flat. Root, one root visible, that is the mesial root. It is flat, square shaped with broad apex. Apex is broad. Morphology of the distal aspect resembles that of the mesial aspect, but we could find some differences. The crown length on the buccal and the lingual aspect is uniform. Also, the buccal cervical ridge, that is not so prominent as that of the mesial aspect. Also, the cusp, distobuccal and distolingual cusp are of same size, and this distal marginal ridge, it is not well developed as that of mesial marginal ridge and is more cervically placed compared to mesial marginal ridge, so that more of the occlusal aspect can be seen. Distal root is rounded, thinner and less broad than mesial root. When you look for the occlusal aspect, the shape is rhomboidal with a narrow occlusal table, and occlusal table also shows the lingual convergence. Occlusal surface exhibits cusps, ridges, pits, fossae and grooves. Four cusps can be seen, that is mesiolingual, mesiobuccal, distolingual and distobuccal cusps. Buccal cusps are larger and well developed than the lingual cusp. Mesiolingual cusp is the largest one, whereas distolingual cusp is the smallest one. This is the mesiolingual cusp. This is the largest one. This is the distolingual cusp. This is the smallest one. Ridges we could find are triangular ridge, transverse ridge, mesial marginal ridge and distal marginal ridge. This is same as that of other teeth. But oblique ridge is absent. Oblique ridge is present only in maxillary teeth. About the fossa, central fossa, mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa. Also the pits, they are the pinpoint depressions at the deepest part of the fossa where grooves join. Occlusally, again there are developmental and supplementary grooves. Under developmental grooves, there are central developmental groove, buccal developmental groove extending onto the buccal surface, lingual groove extending onto the lingual surface, and supplementary grooves extending from both mesial and distal triangular fossa. With these features, we have completed the morphology of first mandibular first molar. Let's move on to the deciduous mandibular second molar. Actually, it is a 5 cusp tooth closely resembling a permanent mandibula first molar with same general contour and surface pattern except that primary tooth is smaller in all dimensions. Morphology remains the same as that of permanent mandibula first molar, but primary tooth is smaller in all dimensions. When you look into the buccal aspect, the mesiodistal dimension of the crown at the cervical area is very much less, and the crown appears to be tilted distally on a root base. Three cusps are seen, that is mesiobuccal, distobuccal and distal cusp. All the cusps are of same size. The buccal surface exhibits two grooves. One is mesiobuccal groove separating the mesiobuccal cusp from distobuccal cusp, and another groove is called distobuccal groove. It is separating the distobuccal groove from distal cusp. Also, there is a well-developed cervical ridge. Two roots in mesial and distal, and the bifurcation is very close to the cervical line, so that root trunk is short. These roots are slender, widely separated, and the apical third spread beyond the crown outline. See, this is your crown outline, and the apical third spread beyond the crown outline. The crown is narrower on the lingual aspect because of the lingual convergence, and it also appears to be tilted distally with a longer mesial portion than the distal side. Also, two cusps can be seen, that is mesiolingual and distolingual cusp. They are of same size and the surface is convex, especially at the cervical region. And a lingual groove is seen separating two lingual cusps. Mesial and distal roots seen. Also, the bifurcation is close to the cervical line. This root trunk is short. Roots are slender, widely separated, and the apical third extend beyond the crown outline. Shape of the crown in the mesial aspect is rhomboidal with the crown tilting lingually, and the outline there is a prominent curvature seen at the cervical third because of the cervical ridge, and this is seen in with the buccal outline. And when we talk about the lingual outline, it is extending beyond the root base. The occlusal outline of the mesial aspect can be represented by cusp and marginal ridge. Two well-developed cusps can be seen, that is mesiobuccal and mesiolingual. Mesiolingual cusp is the longer one, and the buccal cusps are within the confines of root base. Also, the mesial marginal ridge is prominent and is crossed by a groove, and the cervical line is regular. Mesial surface is convex except for the cervical region where it is flat, and the one root is visible, that is a mesial root, and mesial root is broad and flat with blunt apex. The distal surface appeared to be convex except at the cervical region. Distal surface also appeared to be narrower due to the distal convergence, so that a part of the mesiobuccal cusp can be seen along with this particular aspect. And also the distal marginal ridge, it is short and located at a lower level than the mesial marginal ridge, and so that part of the occlusal surface can be seen from the distal aspect. Also, the distolingual cusp is well developed. There is one root visible, that is the distal root, and it is flat, broad, and tapers at the apical third. Occlusally, general morphology is similar to that of permanent mandibular first molar. Shape, it is rectangular with lingual and distal convergence. Crown is wider buccally than lingually. Occlusal surface shows cusp, ridges, pits, fossa and grooves. Generally, it is similar to the Morphology of permanent mandibular for smaller. It has got 5 cusps, 3 buccal and 2 lingual, mesiobuccal, distobuccal and distal cusp buccally, and 2 lingual cusps, mesiolingual and distolingual, where mesiolingual cusp is the most prominent cusp. Again the ridges, triangular ridge, mesial marginal ridge, distal marginal ridge, and also the cusp ridges. It forms the buccal and lingual boundary of occlusal aspect. Fossa, again I have explained earlier, 3 fossa, one major, that is the central fossa here, and the mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa, they are minor fossae. Same as that of other molars, it has also got pits like central pit, mesial pit and distal pit. Here also we could see both developmental and supplementary grooves. There is a central groove extending through the central part of the occlusal surface, and the mesiobuccal groove separating mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusp. There's a distobuccal groove separating the distobuccal and distal grooves. Also, there is a lingual groove separating the mesiolingual and distolingual cusp. Supplementary grooves again seen in the mesial and distal triangular fossa. With this, I have completed the morphology of deciduous dentition. Thank you.